Not just educational apps and websites. I'm going to share 20 plus apps that can help make you a better educator, help you stay organized as an educator or be more productive as an educator, including some that are just educational in nature. So tonight is actually going to be 21 apps, just in case there's something you've already seen, something you don't like. There's a bonus app in there for you. And when I say the word app, I'm referring to, I'm using it really liberally. So apps for your phone, desktop apps, web-based apps, all those good things. And everything we're going to cover tonight is free to you because you're affiliated with Cal State Fullerton. But otherwise, if you weren't here, they might not be free. So, all right, so this is me. I work at Pollock Library during the day. Nights and weekends. I'm faculty for the MS Instructional Design Technology program, and it is awesome. And if you want to download slides from this presentation, they are already online at jlindsayoneil.com/20apps, and that'll stay up there as well. And at the very end of this presentation, I'll have an option for you to input your email address. So if you want me to email you the slides, we can do that also. So we are going to have a few opportunities for interactivity during this presentation. I think it's fun when you can get hands-on with some of the interactive apps I'm going to show you. So you can see what it would be like for students, and you can see some of the upsides and some of the downsides. So we are going to start with a game. I love Kahoot. If you haven't used Kahoot, it is super fun. I'm going to back out of here and pull up Kahoot. All right. So on screen, you should see a color changing blue, dark blue screen, and an web address and a pin at the top. So direct your phone, direct your browser, whatever you want, to kahoot.it, and enter that pin number at the top. It'll ask you to put in your names. Go ahead and type in your name, and we're gonna do just kind of a silly fun game. There's Richard. Hi, Richard. So give you guys a minute to do that. So let's see, how many of us are here? There's only a handful of us here. This might be a very small, short game, but. All right, got Kai, Kat, and Richard. Give you another moment or two, and then we will start. And then anyone that's late can still log in partway through the game. So a few more seconds. This actually has really obnoxious music that I turned off. But when you're in class, it's fun to put it up on the projector screen that has this exciting game show music. I guess I actually could, sorry. I could unmute it, but that might drive me crazy. Actually, let's unmute it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's be annoying. Okay. Hopefully the music is soft, not too annoying. All right. Let's go ahead and play. So what's going to happen is the question's going to come up on screen and the answers will be on screen, and you'll use either your browser or your personal device to answer, but the actual spelled out answers won't be on your device. They'll only be on the big screen. And the game designers did that on purpose. So this is fun facts about Pollock Library. I just can't help myself. I am a librarian and we have fun stuff here. Well, I guess this one's not Pollock Library. All right, so now's your chance to answer on your device. What do you think? Two more seconds. All right, that gives you a taste of this game. Correct answer is Orange County State College. I can actually never remember, and I wrote this question. So no one's in the lead yet. The game is anyone's. There's going to be 4 more questions. So how many librarians work at Pollock Library, do you think? Richard should have a good guess since he's also a librarian here. You got it. Got 23 librarians here. Richard got it. That could be considered cheating, but we'll give it to him because he attended tonight, and that's nice. All right, Pollock Library is on Yelp. How many stars do you think we have? We do. We have 4 stars on Yelp. I appreciate those of you that said we have 5 stars. Maybe someday we'll get to 5 stars. Right now we are at 4. We're working on it. 4 stars is pretty good. 2 more questions. How many ebooks does Pollock Library have? All right, answers all over the place. Yes, we have 200,000 ebooks that are available instantly anytime that you have Wi-Fi, and Richard is winning. He's on fire. All right, last question. How many reference questions did we answer? 2014, 2015. This one's tough. Correct answer is 17,805 questions. So your librarians are always here, well, almost always here during the day anyways, to answer your questions relating to research, citations, whatever, let us know. So Richard was in the lead. He does work at the library, but he hasn't worked here for that long, so he knows a lot about the library. That's a good thing. Good job, Kai. Number 2, Kat, next time you'll catch up and win. All right, so that was just to give you a taste of Kahoot. It's a lot of fun. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so here's another Kahoot that I just put on the screen. I really like Kahoot because it does allow really easy student access with any device that they have. It's very much a game-like design. I've used it for kids. I've used it for adults. Adults get just as into it as kids do. It's really amazing. So it's a fun way to start off a presentation, to check student learning, to teach something really quickly without students even knowing that they're learning. It's just a fun thing to try to use. All right, I got a lot of windows open here. Let me scoot that out of the way. All right, so that was Kahoot. It is free to use. And it's not limited as far as participants either. You can have, I think, up to 4,000 participants. And you can also download the results of each Kahoot. So you can track student learning, you can use it for polls, surveys. It's really fun. All right, next up is EdPuzzle. I don't know if any of you had used Zaption, but it's gone now, unfortunately. What EdPuzzle does is it allows you to take an existing video on the web, including YouTube, Crash Course, Vimeo, Khan Academy, etc. You can upload your own video, and you can insert points where the video will pause and students are asked to respond to a question. So there's multiple choice questions, there's free response questions. If you are using Google Classroom, or you want to create a new Google Classroom, you can actually assign EdPuzzles to your students as an assignment and then track how they do as well. So it's another neat way to turn your passive videos into a slightly more active experience, so they're not just sitting, watching, spacing out. They actually have to answer something, and they can re-watch parts if they miss something, go back, try it again. It is embeddable into a website using a provided iframe code, so it is free to do that. And there are tons of existing video lessons that you can just pick from, you can reuse, you can adapt. You insert any questions you want. You can also insert audio as well if you want to do that, and that's totally free. It's a really, really fun tool. All right, next up is Canva. You may have been asked to create a graphic or a sign or a flyer or a newsletter or something else, and you might have looked at it and said, I'm not a graphic designer, I don't know if this looks good or not. Well, Canva is the solution for you. I love Canva. It's an online freemium product. It's available through your browser. Just Google Canva. You can log in with Google, and it has a ton of templates for you to use to look really professional really quickly. So in the right-hand side there, I've got a few graphics I came up with Canva. I am not a graphic designer, but they mostly look pretty decent. I'm probably not going to fool anybody soon into thinking I'm a graphic designer, but I've got some nice images here. So there's reusable templates in there, a lot of free ones. There are some paid ones because it is freemium. You can upload your own graphics and icons if you want to do that and just use the templates. So it's a really nice way to create really pretty things really quickly. And if you have a blog or something else, it makes really nice social media items for you as well. So if you had maybe a classroom newsletter, classroom blog, it might be a nice way to spruce it up with some really nice looking images really quickly. All right. The next two are kind of similar and might just be an issue of which one you prefer. So this one is Microsoft Sway. It is presentation software, but it's also something that you could use for creating readings for your students or to package together a little lesson. You can't put in questions, but you can embed videos, GIFs, text, graphics, and also iframes. This is available to you as a student at Cal State Fullerton. It's part of the Office 365 suite. I've actually got the student login link here because it is a little tricky to find. I wanted to show you what this looks like because it's so pretty. All right, so the Sway is loading. So you should see this really cool bloom on screen that's moving. It might be glitchy because of the video conferencing software. But all you do is upload your content, so your graphics, your text, and it turns it into this really pretty presentation that you can use your keyboard to navigate. You can use these buttons at the bottom to navigate. This one has graphics and it also has audio. If you click on this right here, it'll actually play a little song for you. What else does this one have? Oh, it has stacks of photos, so you can flip through things. So it's got small interactive elements to it as well. This one has a video logged in also. So this might be a fun tool for you to create a reading for your class. It might be a fun thing for your students to use to create something for class as well. Again, this is available through the Office 365 suite that's available to you as a student at Cal State Fullerton. And the student login is in my slides, which I'll make sure that you get at the end of this presentation. So there is one drawback to Sway. It doesn't play as nice with the other Microsoft products as you think that it would. It's not exportable to PowerPoint, which is really disappointing. So it makes really pretty things really quickly. It's not exportable. That's a little bit disappointing. So similarly, there's this product called Adobe Spark. If you were ever familiar with Adobe Post, Adobe Slate, Adobe Voice, this is a new product that combines all those things into one. So it is really similar to Sway, and then it's a pretty lovely presentation composer for you. All right, so this one, I'm gonna scroll down with my mouse. It does these neat animations that are automatic with the graphics. You don't have to do these yourself. There's text on top of images, big chunks of text. Sorry, this is someone's hiking story or something. There's some weird pictures of feet in here. But you get the gist. It looks really nice. The pictures lend a really nice multimedia element to it. So this one is also free. It's free to anyone. Adobe Spark is nice because it does sync between the desktop version and between the iOS apps. Unfortunately, the apps are only for iOS. But you can make graphics with it, you can do web stories, which is what I just showed you, or you can make animated videos. The videos don't do screen captures, but it does have a lot of neat little icons that are already animated, so you can make little explainer videos really quickly, and it's all totally free. And I think this does play a little bit nicer with the other Adobe products. So another tool for you to create a nice reading for class, a nice presentation, or for you to have your students maybe use to create an assignment or a project or a group presentation. That'd be pretty cool too. All right, next one is one of my favorite things. It's called If This Then That, IFTTT for short. It's kind of a hard to remember abbreviation, but once you log in, create an account really quickly. It does a lot of really neat things to make your life a little bit easier. For example, it'll sync your Dropbox to your Google Drive. So rather than just being backed up to one cloud, you can be backed up to multiple clouds. Get an email if there's rain in your area tomorrow. It'll back up your photos that you post on Facebook. It'll tweet things that you post to Facebook, for example, or vice versa. If you like to tweet, you can post it to Facebook automatically. If you post to Facebook, it can tweet things for you. There's a lot of existing what are called recipes, or you can create your own recipes to automate your life. And there's a lot of new ones too that work with Alexa or some of those other Internet of Things that you might have in your house. If you have one of those Nest thermometers, you could set something that when you start driving home, Nest will automatically turn down to a comfortable temperature for you. Really cool things to automate your life. A little bit creepy sometimes if you're trying to integrate all these different technologies that know a lot of things about you, but it's really neat what it's able to do. All right, this one's sort of meta. I wanted to point out that we are using Zoom, and as a student, you can use Zoom. We have a campus-wide license for Zoom, and it is the easiest web conferencing software I have ever used, and probably you could ever use. It's easier than Skype. It's just instant, like you logged in and saw yourself. You just click that URL and you're good to go. It automatically downloads the software if you don't already have it. It makes everything really easy. So what's cool about this is, did we record, Cynthia? I hope we did. It allows you to record meetings, synchronous text chat. So while I'm talking, you guys can be talking to each other. People can co-present with you really easily. So I'm not technically the host of this presentation, but I am able to share my screen. Let's see, what else? And one really fun thing is you can actually draw on the screen, even if you're not the presenter. So I'd love for you to try this right now. Go ahead and move your mouse to the top of your screen where this Zoom presentation is. You should see this More button, and you should see the Annotate button. And then when you annotate, yes, you guys are drawing. I love it. Hi. Kind of a fun thing. What else can we do? Just text in here. Oh, what am I going to put? Zoom is awesome. I love it. Like little arrow, it says Catherine Dave. Very nice. And then as the presenter, I can use the eraser. I like the drawing. I don't want to erase that. That's pretty cool. I just saved the screen. That's cool. You can undo, you can redo. So if you're presenting, you can do quick little call outs. You can point out things. Super fun. Definitely gonna leave that up on the screen because that's fun. Actually, we'll see if it, I can't remember the annotations clear if I move on. They will not clear. I'm gonna have to clear them. All right. I apologize. I have to clear all the drawings. But thank you for your participation. I really enjoyed your participation. All right, so yeah, that's Zoom. It's free to you. It is in your portal, or you can go to fullerton.edu//Zoom. You can make your own meetings, so it's great for group work, great for meeting people that maybe couldn't make it onto campus. Again, you can record your meetings. People can refer to them later on. It's super fun, super easy. All right, next one is clickers. Clickers are anonymous polling for students. It doesn't require technology. So I have a little video camera, I could have showed you my clickers. What you do is you print out a set of these paper response cards, and you see one of the codes up there on screen. What it is basically each student gets their own barcode. So ahead of time, you can actually set up your class in clickers. So each student is assigned their own clicker. They're all numbered. And if you look really closely on screen, you'll see that each side of the barcode has a different letter. So it goes A, B, C, and D. So that if you're in class with your students, you can have them hold up their clicker to answer a question, and it's completely anonymous for your students, and it doesn't require devices, so they're not getting distracted. So that's a really fun, neat thing for you to try. You can review the reports online. There's a live results view, so that sometimes if I'm coming into a class, I just want to know what students maybe already know, I can do a poll, throw it up on screen, and as the instructor, no need for student devices, I put a picture up there. As the instructor, you have to have a device so that when students hold up their cards, you scan them to see what they responded. And then up on your projector screen, you can have the live results view. So it's a really cool way to gauge student learning. You can track your students if you have a classroom set up, and it's completely anonymous for your students. So they don't have to feel embarrassed about not knowing the answer. And again, they're not getting distracted by their devices. So don't worry about Wi-Fi, don't worry about those other things. You can just give them their clickers and they are good to go. All right, next up, if you don't know about this, you should. On campus here, we do have Google Apps. It is branded as Titan Apps. At your workplace, you may also have Google Apps. If you don't use it, it is really awesome. Basically, it's everything collaborative and everything is based in the cloud. So if you're typing out something like an essay or making a new presentation, it lives in Google Apps, so you don't have to worry about making sure you have it on your thumb drive. You just have to make sure you have Wi-Fi. It's a great way for you to collaborate on projects with your classmates. So if you are working on an essay together, presentation together, if you need to share some files, you can set up folders and share files together. You can also use Google Drive to back up your files. So I know how stressed out a lot of students are, and if you are just automatically backing up your files to Google Drive, say using if this then that, or by downloading the Google Drive desktop app, you can automatically back up all your files. So if anything happens to your computer, or if you forget your computer, you can still access all of your files. And I put just a fun use here that I saw someone make. Someone used Google Forms to create a choose your own adventure. So again, this is a nice way for you to back up your files, collaborate with your colleagues. Your students could also use free Google Apps to create things and then share them with the class as well. It's great for collaborative work if you don't already use it. I highly recommend it. And that's in your portal as well, if you want to use the Titan Apps version. Speaking of the cloud, I highly recommend Dropbox also. This is my main backup. So especially as a designer, I have a ton of files that I would be crushed if I lost because I've spent hundreds of hours on them. So I've got the desktop app for Dropbox, and everything I work on is automatically backed up to Dropbox. I don't need to use if this and that. There's an actual desktop app, and if you are logged in through Cal State Fullerton, there's practically unlimited storage. So this one, there actually are a limited number of student licenses, but they haven't reached that number yet. So since you're now students in the know, I highly recommend you contact, where is it? Oops, I went too far. No, that's it. I highly recommend you contact the student help desk, or you can call 8888 for the student IT help desk, and they will set you up a Dropbox license, and you can just automatically start backing up your stuff now. It's fantastic. And again, you can access your files anywhere, kind of like with Google Drive. And this is one of those kind of out of sight, out of mind things. You don't even have to worry about it. It's just happening every time you save something. It's been a lifesaver since my computer has crashed twice since I started here. But both times, 99% of my files were in Dropbox, so I didn't have to worry about it. And then when I logged in on my new computer, my new hard drive, it automatically repopulated my hard drive with all my files. So that was a really nice thing. So look for it in your portal or ask student IT help desk, and they'll help you out with that. Oh, and then when you do graduate, you do have to pay to upgrade. So just FYI, while you're here, it's a good thing. All right, next up, get ready to interact with Padlet. I love Padlet so much that I could say that about most things. I guess is why I have them in the presentation in the first place. This is an online corkboard / bulletin board. Go ahead, let's try it now. That's the URL on screen. Go ahead, go to tinyurl.com/COE Padlet. I'll leave that up for a second. This is a fun class activity where you can have students add something to the class Padlet. So you could pull it up on a projector in front of your class, have students add things. You could use as class brainstorming or post an idea. Let's go ahead and pull that up. I still have the annotations open. All right, so to add something to Padlet, you just double click in an empty spot. You type your name, you can not. Awesome, you can post your favorite app. So I'm gonna delete mine. And then as the Padlet owner, I am logged into Padlet. So if there's any malicious posts, if there's anything that's like vandalizing, I can go ahead and remove those if I need to or edit them. So go ahead, let's take a minute and play with Padlet. Just double click on an empty space if you haven't already. You can delete your own posts, you can edit your own posts, you can move stuff around. It's pretty fun. Yeah, if you have any apps that you know of that we haven't covered in this presentation, by all means post them. There's so many apps in the world, it's impossible to keep up with them all, especially as things are bought out. Maybe they're startups that fail, or they're startups that get bought out and then they shut them down. I'm resisting the urge to click on these apps right now because I want to look at them. But after the presentation's over, you can definitely come back and revisit these. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the presentation. So the example I have up on screen is a teacher that actually made a bookshelf using Padlet, so you can edit all the different options. This person made a nice, neat little grid so that each book is a picture and has a title and author, so that's an option. I've also used it for really messy brainstorming. For example, I did a faculty workshop, and I had faculty brainstorm the criteria they use to evaluate course materials, for example. And I'm all about chaos, apparently. So I never really make things nice and neat in the Padlet. I just want people to be able to double click and go. So I really like that the technology is very seamless. You don't have to log in, you don't have to do anything special. You just double click on an empty spot, you type it in, it's good to go. And I've used it on iPads and other mobile devices as well, and it works really well. So this is another freemium product. So I've never found a feature that I really wanted to pay for. It's free for all the stuff I want to use it for, and I've had a really good experience with it so far. And you can also embed these in an iframe into other websites as well. So you could even make a new Microsoft Sway and embed a Padlet in it. Who knows? Possibilities are limitless. Okay. Time check for myself. So that's 11 apps down so far. We've got 10 more to go. I am 4 minutes behind, but we shall move on. All right, next one's lynda.com. This is free to you as a student through your portal. Lynda.com is amazing if you haven't used it. If you're in instructional design, you definitely experienced it last semester. But if you haven't visited it since then, it has so much training on basically anything you can think of, from Microsoft Word to Adobe Captivate, of course, for instructional design students, Adobe Illustrator, all the Adobe products, stuff like how to use Dropbox, how to use Skype, how to use Google Drive, how to use video editing software. Up there on screen is my playlist. Oops. You can make your own playlist, you can share your playlist. You do have to log in through Cal State Fullerton, so that's something to think about also. And a lot of the courses do include practice files as well, so you can follow along with the designer on screen. It's a really nice way to learn. It is still kind of self-guided, that you have to keep yourself on track, and it's not interactive unless you do download the practice files and keep yourself on track. It's really cool. When you complete courses, it does issue badges to you that you could put in your LinkedIn profile, but the badges basically just say you watch the videos. That's kind of a fun thing to keep track of what you've completed and what you haven't. Cynthia say, I like badges. Well, these badges just show that you've watched videos. They don't show that you've done really amazing work just yet, but hopefully they're a step in the right direction and doing really awesome work. All right, next up is Khan Academy. A lot of educators have already heard of this, but I just want to make sure that everyone has. These are free educational videos. They're very good quality, and they offer free tutoring in general education subjects. So similar to LinkedIn, it also offers the digital badge options. So just like lynda.com, I didn't mention this, all the videos are chunked. So all the videos are fairly short, and they are sequenced. So you can watch just a video or two at a time. With Khan Academy, you can sign up with what you want to study, and it'll work you through that whole subject, and it'll encourage you with animations and those badges again. So it's good for K through 12. They've got a lot more stuff for higher education now as well. It's really fun, and they've even got the coding stuff going on. And they have a new, I think it's Khan Academy that has Pixar in a box as well. They've got really neat things you can use in your class. You can show the videos, you can assign the videos. It's super fun. Oh, and then harkening back to EdPuzzle, I mentioned EdPuzzle towards the beginning of this presentation. EdPuzzle allows you to put questions into other videos, including Khan Academy. So if you wanted to put some interactivity into Khan Academy videos, you could using EdPuzzle. So that's kind of a cool thing too. All right. If you have never made videos, now is the time to do it because it is super easy. You can make really quick screen recordings to explain things. You can do really quick screen captures using Jing. Jing is free to you. It is limited to 5-minute long videos. But it's neat because when you download it, it has this little widget that lives on your desktop screen. And anytime you want to take a quick recording or do a screen capture, you just click on that, you select the area you want to record, and you're good. And then once you're done recording, it has options for you to share it out. It's really easy. So as a librarian, we show people how to research. We might use Jing to show someone how to do a complicated search really fast. Sometimes I use these for really quick explainer videos for my classes that just show them how to do it. Now, this is the free version of their video software. TechSmith does offer Camtasia and Snagit as well. Those are both for pay. But if you ever wanted to get some video editing software, I recommend those. But Jing is the free version. It's super easy to use. And the 5-minute limit is probably a good thing, so that means you're not making crazy long videos that people are going to space out while watching. So something to think about. All right, so this one, you're probably wondering why I put YouTube on screen, because everyone's heard of YouTube. What's really cool about YouTube that a lot of people don't know is that you can actually search for videos that are licensed as Creative Commons, and you can reuse them in your own videos. You can even download them or do other things that you want to them. So this is great because say you find a video that explains a concept you want to explain for your class, but they've got it bookended with stuff about their university or about their school or about their students. You could download that video to your own YouTube channel, and you could edit those parts out and then create your own YouTube video from it. So if you aren't familiar with Creative Commons, it's basically just a license that people assign to their work that says you can reuse my work and here are the terms to reuse it. And in YouTube, it defaults to what you just have to give the person credit that you got the video from. So as long as you're giving credit to the person you got the video from and check to see if they have any other notes on there that they want you to do, you're good to go. So how you do that is you can look at videos that are available to you by going to your search results page and just clicking on Creative Commons right there, and it'll filter your videos down to just Creative Commons. And again, the default when you upload to YouTube is a standard license, so people have to be really conscientious about changing it to Creative Commons if they're willing to share. I always change my videos to Creative Commons because I would love people to reuse my work. And then if you want to create your own videos, YouTube it used to be easier. They made it a little bit harder. But what you do is you log into YouTube on your own account that you want to create the video, and you have to use the video editor. So when you're logged into your own channel in your Creator Studio, if anyone's really into YouTube, you just scroll down to create, you click on video editor, and you can insert Creative Commons videos. From there, you can download, remix, edit them however you want. So it's a really nice way to find video content and reuse it without having to do everything from scratch. I've used a lot of other people's Creative Commons videos. All right. Next up is Evernote. I really like Evernote because it is note-taking organization software. By organization, I mean organize basically all your thoughts or organize all your scraps of papers. So I have a tendency to write things down on scraps of paper and then lose them. But if you put them into Evernote, you can tag all of your works. So for example, if you have a long research project going, you can take notes for it and then tag them all with research project, for example. And then when you go back to search, you can just hit that tag research project, and all of your notes will be organized together for you. And it'll also sync across platforms. So this is a freemium product where there's a free version, a paid version. The free version lets you have, I think, 2 different platforms. You could have a desktop and you could have it on your iPad, for example, and those 2 will sync. So any notes or any scraps that you collect from across the web that you put onto your desktop, it'll show up on your iPad as well, and you can stay really nice and organized. And you can also access it online from the web, so kind of like with Dropbox or with Google Drive. If you forget your computer, you can always log into the web version and look up your notes there as well. It has this really neat app called Penultimate, where if you own an iPad or an Android and you have a stylus, you can actually free write your notes onto Evernote using Penultimate, and it'll sync to Evernote as well. And Evernote will actually attempt to go through all of the text and how do you say, it'll do text recognition. So your notes will actually become searchable. Now that really varies depending on how neat your handwriting is. My handwriting is not very neat, but I was really surprised by how powerful the search function was even with my terrible handwriting. So that was really neat. Again, that does sync between platforms. You can also download websites, you can download PDFs, and you can keep things really nice and organized into folders and also with the tags, so you can keep all your stuff really nice and neat and organized for you. All right. Next one is we're about to get interactive again. This one is Poll Everywhere. I used to use this more. This is also a freemium product. Now they actually limit responses to 40 people. I don't think we have too many people in this webinar right now, so that's okay. It's a nice audience response tool, and people can use any device, including texting, to respond to your poll. So there's a web version, there's a mobile version. It is limited to 40 participants, but let's go ahead and give it a try. So I'm gonna pull up that screen. All right, I'm gonna make this full screen here. Hopefully you can read all the stuff up there. Let me move my own thing out of the way so I can see. All right, so you can use the web. You can go into your favorite browser and enter that web address, or you can text that code to that phone number once to join and then text your message. And answers to this poll are anonymous. Go ahead and respond, and we'll see how that works. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to exit out of that. Let's go back. So what happens when I click on things. Going well and amazing. Cool. I'll text mine in also, just because I don't have that many people in here. Let's see. Trying my phone on this one. 607. Downside is definitely that you have to keep looking at the screen to figure out what the number is. And then I misenter it, and my phone hates me. 37607. I can do this. All right, let's see if that goes through or not. Oh, there's mine. All right, mine is awesome. So Poll Everywhere is neat because you can choose what kind of poll you want to run. For this one, I chose, what is it called, like a Wordle? You've probably seen a lot of Wordles in your time. So this one, you can just text a free response. Ooh, great got really big. There's a lot of great going on. And that's a nice way just to kind of check in with your students, or to do an online presentation like this and get some real live human answers to your question. You can also do bar charts, and you can do some other things as well. Now the free version is limited to 40 participants, which is kind of too bad. It used to allow more people, but you know, for most classrooms that works. And this is I really do like that you can just text your response to it. You don't have to have Wi-Fi or worry about having a really good signal. So that makes it really easy as well. Participating, let's head on back. All right, tried the poll. Up on screen is an example of a bar chart I did from a session that I did once upon a time to show this. So you can also lock down your responses as well if you just want to give multiple choice, kind of like Kahoot. That's an option for you also. And again, you can keep your results and refer to them later. You can require someone puts in their name, all that good stuff. All right, next couple of apps are for productivity. This first one is Wunderlist. I've been using it for years and I love it so much. It's just a fancy to-do list. If you use Remember the Milk, it's similar. Wunderlist is great because, again, it syncs between the web and the mobile app. So if I'm at work, I can remember to put in my grocery list at work, and later on I'm at the store and I have my phone, it'll automatically be synced to my phone also. You can use it for simple to-do lists. You can also include subtasks. So each checkbox can actually have multiple subtasks. So if you have a project that has a few steps, this is something you can use. And one of my favorite things I use Wunderlist for is for notifications. So if I need to remember to grab something before I go to work in the morning, I'll set my phone to remind me at that time right before I usually go to work, and it'll remind me, and usually I remember to grab whatever it is I need to grab. So you can also duplicate tasks so that you don't have to retype them in every time if there's something that you do a lot. You can set recurring alarms so that if you need to remember to do something each week at the same day, or maybe interrupt yourself in the middle of class to remember to go, I don't know, run out the door or something, you can do that. And yeah, you can check it off. You can set it recurring so it'll come back to notify you, and it's just a good way to keep yourself on track. For group projects, I've actually got a different one that I'm going to show you. I'm looking at Cynthia's chat in the box there. Wunderlist, I haven't used it with others. You can actually assign tasks to other people in Wunderlist. I haven't used it for that because I keep myself on track. But it would be, yeah, you can use it to remind people to do things, assign subtasks. Another one that does that, possibly a little bit better, is called Trello. So this is similar in that you write out to-do lists in here, and you can assign tasks out to people. But Trello is great because it's a little bit more visual, and you can drag and drop items, you can tag and label items, so kind of like with Evernote that you can tag items and then organize your tasks that way. You can have multiple boards. So on the screen here I have one board that someone used for a group project. So again, if you did have a group project, this would probably be a better choice because it can be a little bit more complex. It allows you to put in images, it allows you to make comments and have mini discussions. Yeah, Cynthia agrees. Yeah, this one's a little bit better too. Wunderlist is good for yourself if you need to remind yourself of things. Trello is really good for working with others. And again, you can color code, you can change the background. On the right-hand side there, it has a sidebar that shows all the activities, so you can see what other people have done. Yeah, that's really nice for group projects for sure. All right. Let's see, nearing the end here. I've only got 3 more slides. Oer Commons is a really cool place that you can go to find instructional materials that you can reuse for your classes or for your projects if you're an instructional designer. So I mentioned earlier that YouTube has videos that are licensed as Creative Commons, and you can reuse those videos because the person that was kind enough to post them onto YouTube licensed them as Creative Commons. So just to reiterate, Creative Commons is a license that someone can choose to put on their work that says, hey, it's cool if you reuse my work, you just have to give me attribution or follow these other couple of little small things. So Oer Commons is an entire gigantic database of materials that people have uploaded just for you to reuse as an instructor. So you can search by grade. There's things from K through 12 to higher ed. There's tons of different kinds of materials in there as well. You'll find games, homework, tutorials, readings, labs. You'll find entire courses. So if you wanted to find how someone else teaches a course, you might be able to find a version in there and reuse bits and pieces of it. It has a really powerful search interface. So once you do pull up all of your results, you can limit by material type on the left. It also has a rating system so that when you go in there and look for materials, you can see what other people have rated it. Kind of like Yelp, there's a star system, so things will be rated 1 stars through 5 stars. There'll also be comments left on things as well. So it's a really nice way to find the high quality materials that you're looking for because someone else has probably already gone through and reviewed them. And you can reuse anything you find in there. You just have to, again, follow the terms of the Creative Commons license. So if someone says you have to attribute them and you can't use it commercially, that's something you have to abide by because they still have the copyright. They're just saying that you're welcome to reuse my work and here's the rules to reuse it. Okay. So I have yet another, but the last one, last polling software. This is another freemium product called Socrates. I assume that's how it's pronounced. I'm not actually sure. Again, this lets you use any device. You can do quizzes. You can gamify it with Space Race. You can do multiple choice questions. You can do true-false questions. You can do surveys. And it's pretty easy for your students or strangers, even like in this webinar, well, you're not all strangers, actually I know all of you, to access it. You just have, you name, you give a code name, I guess, to where you want students to log into, and they log in and they just find your quiz right away. So I guess I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. I wasn't sure how many people would be in this presentation, how much interactivity there would be. But 6:48, let's go ahead and try out Socrates. This is the last thing I have for you to try out. This is just a survey for you. I've got a 3-question survey in there for you. Those are your instructions on screen. All right, so now's a good time. If you have any questions, let me know. Any opinions, if you want to go back and play some more with the Padlet, you're welcome to. I'll leave this up on screen for another minute, and then let me know if you have any questions. Cynthia asks, which polling software or service do I prefer? That's a good question because it depends on how professional I'm feeling. I think my current favorite is actually Kahoot. You can set Kahoot so that the questions aren't scored, so you could use it for a survey or for a poll. For a class or for a conference presentation, I prefer to use Poll Everywhere because you've got that live on screen response thing going on. So just like I did in this session asking you how your semester is going, I can ask people what they think about a question. They can put things up on the screen in my presentation, and we can use that to start a conversation or to continue a conversation to gauge knowledge. And that's a little more, I guess, professional looking, but it's a little more reflective, I think. The problem is it is limited now to 40 participants, but I mean, for most things that I present at or teach, that works just fine. And again, I do really like that you can just text your answer in. You don't have to have Wi-Fi or internet connection. Okay, so this is my last slide. Again, you can download my slides at jlindsayoneil.com/20apps. If you're completing that Socrates feedback form and you put in your email address, I will email you my slides. And let's see here.